Yeah. I'm here. I'm not actually too sleep deprived or jet lagged for that matter.
Sure, it'll hit you tomorrow or the day after or something like that.
Yeah, well, if it gets bad, I'll take a melatonin and reset everything. But for now, I'm okay. Just did.
Does that just work for you?
I mean, it does because I don't use it very often.
Okay.
So the trick to melatonin working is when you don't use it very often, it works really well.
I tried it once, it didn't do shit. And then I tried it like again.
Excuse me.
And it double didn't do shit. And I was like, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, over-the-counter herbal medication.
Oof. Yeah. But easily, that's one of, it was the return trip was broken up into two halves because we went through Dallas first. So. It was
you did that one? Weird.
Yeah. So it was basically, honestly, when I looked at the clock, in Tokyo, when we got back home, it had been 24 hours since we had departed for the airport.
Yeah.
So whatever the 13 or 15 or whatever it was in an actual flight doesn't matter because add the prep time and it's a full 24 hours
and then
of
add
travel.
Sitting around in the airport.
Yeah. But yeah, no, back good.
It's far.
It's a very far place. It's super worth it, but fuck.
It's far.
Fuck, it's the furthest you can get without needing to.
It's possible that Australia
resort.
would be farther because you have to go north-south as well.
It's the furthest point on the map worth going to. I like.
True that, my
let's
friend.
just be real.
Oh no.
Let's just be real. It's the furthest dot worth going to.
Come on. Hear some angry didgeridoos in the distance,
and that's
but don't
fine.
worry about that.
If you have adventure in your spirit, if your soul calls to the wild, then go yonder into the unknown, venture.
Yes.
But if your soul calls for anime, and video games, and weeb shit,
and anime byproducts
that you can safely consume in the safety of your home, with your comfy civilization around you, then yeah, that's the dot you want to go to.
Civilization.
You can get out to Kamchatka. You can get out to fucking South Pole if you want to be on one of those limited flight trips. Or
South Pole seems cool.
You can go hit up Madagascar if you want. You know, and let's be real. I actually kind of think it would be cool to check out Madagascar. Not gonna lie, but the dot of places left that I want to go on the map is really, really, really shrunken. Over the years, there's not many places I really want to go.
There's one place I desperately want to go, but I probably won't be able to go there before I die, and that's Earth orbit.
Sure. Yeah, not gonna happen.
Maybe.
But I mean,
anybody working SpaceX?
You can vomit Comet.
No.
That's the closest you'll get.
I want to look down on the whole Earth within my frame of vision, my perception.
Dots on the map. I really have for a long time, for years, I've been obsessed with Angkor Wat. I'm saying it wrong, but it's the really beautiful temples in Cambodia.
Yeah,
that shit's really gorgeous. I really want to see that. I've never done a Euro trip. I've never really wanted to do a Euro trip.
Listen, okay, so I've explained this over and over. I feel identically to you, not the Angkor Wat part, but the European thing. Okay, many people don't understand this. I think it's a Montrealer thing, because I remember like a bunch of kids in my high school being like, "Whoa, we're going to London for the trip." I'm like, who gives a fuck are giving to London? Go down to Ottawa. It looks like shitty London. And it's like, "Oh, we're gonna go to Paris." I'm like, just go down to the fucking old port and you're in Paris. Like, what the like?
Yeah,
Europe, like,
yeah,
the west half of Europe is like downtown.
Yeah, we live in the most European city in
What's
North
the
America,
fucking point?
So that is a huge part of it.
You want to see a guy smoke too much and maybe spit on your food? Go down to fucking St. Catherine.
Yeah, yeah. So there's that. It's not hard to see a bunch of horses and stone streets and old style buildings and cathedrals. We can get that.
I saw a horse walking around today.
It's very easy to do.
There were tourists in it. Well, no, not in the horse, in the carriage.
Yeah,
that's different.
But there are some particular sights and sounds that might be curious to check out. But for the most part, yeah, there's a huge dark spot in terms of interest
That whole middle part.
In that whole middle part, from here all the way over, to just to now, we just got to pretty much hit that old fucking spice trade route. You know, that's where the interest lies, because there's just nothing in between that I care about. And I'm like, look, man, like, I got you, Russia. You're cool. You're big.
There's cool stuff in Russia.
I can do without it. You know, I could do with, like I said, I could do without probably, you know, whatever. Anyway, if things pop up that are like, holy fuck, then I can easily be swayed, right? Because, like I said, Cambodia, I don't really care about Cambodia as much as I want to check that place out.
All right, here's a quote from Woolie Madden, everyone. I don't really care about Cambodia. Put that up on your Twitter.
But I'll have you know, well, hey, literally, some of my best friends are Cambodian.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
Because the strongest players in Street Fighter in Montreal are all Cambodian. So
really,
yeah,
that's the thing.
Oh yeah,
is that like how the Pakistanis are coming out of nowhere to kill everyone at Tekken?
I mean, Chirithi is totally Cambodian. Yeah. Khmer, as they call it, Khmer SF, and like him and all the OGs, all the best Marvel players, they're all Cambodian. It's nuts.
What's going on in Cambodia?
Nothing, but like we all grew up. I told you I grew up in an area of Montreal called Saint Laurent, that just happened to have the arcade with the maximum competitiveness going on outside of the downtown core. And I just got lucky being in that area. And everyone around that area happened to be Cambodian, so that's how it went. So
it's less ethnic or national. It's more about what small like community did the arcade happen to be placed next to.
Pretty much. And then that's what it became. Although, yeah, I want to go see those temples. That's cool.
You draw on the wall.
Japan's dope. Japan is... I feel really like, as I was on my way out, because it's been about a half month, I feel like I've finally started to really cement, like, okay, I can communicate. It's really rough. It's really coarse.
You're communicating right now.
I can communicate in Japanese.
See, that's a form of communication, and that was not clear. See, you're getting better every day.
And it's one word, sometimes two word statements, half sentences, you know, really broken and fucked up. But I've got enough to catch basic context. And here's the thing is, and this is how I know, because I'm the same way with French, right? When it comes to it, I've been around it my whole life, and like now listening to my friend who lives there, she's super fluent, speaking with cab drivers, and listening to other people talking and whatnot, I'm like, oh, I completely understand that conversation.
Yeah,
right.
The Montreal bilingual conversation, for those of you who don't know, often goes, "Hey, how are you?" It's like, no, you speak in French, I'll speak in English, and we'll just make this work. Blah blah blah.
So last time I would just kind of, you know, use whatever basic terms I could to get around. This time around, especially having watched a bunch of Terrace House, I literally was like, it's a dumb place to pick it up, but I picked up some things that I'm like, oh yeah,
it's better place to fucking pick it up than anime.
Yeah. And I definitely had that fear that I'm like, oh no, am I one of those stupid fucking people that thinks that you're like, oh, I watched some anime and played some video games, I know what I'm doing.
Yes.
And like,
yes,
I am. But thankfully, I did a little bit of supplemental work around that and got it just decent enough.
I remember
to be able to say that we got through the trip, all right, and like when like we were able to get where we needed to go the whole time, whatever, and in most cases, most stores, most whatever, like taxi rides and such have conversations. I was able to do it. I kept up, you know, I was pretty happy with the results. I'm like, yeah, I can actually do this at like an elementary school level if I like started to apply it. So I'm like, okay, yay, that's somewhere.
In all honesty, the hardest part of learning a new language is the part that you did do with video games and anime, which is you got to the point. I remember for a while ago, one of my language teachers taught me this. It's like the hardest part of any new language is going from, quote, bar, where words aren't distinct and people are just going blah, 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 blah. Like, no, you can't tell the difference between somebody fake speaking it and real speaking it, and going, oh, that's a word. I don't know what that word fucking means, but it's a word.
Yeah. No, now
Thanks,
it's like,
anime.
yeah, now it's actual keywords popping up, and I'm like, oh, I know what the subject matter of this sentence is.
Gaijin, huh?
Gai Kokujin.
Oh, yes.
Don't say, don't want to.
Oh, no.
No disrespect there.
Oh, what? Oh, okay.
Anyway, so I guess since we last left off, wherever I was
spilled
at
Red Bull on my pants.
I think I was on Bunny Island.
Crap.
No. Wait.
Well, the last podcast preview was the bunnies.
Yes. Yeah, I was on Bunny Island. That's where I left it
The
off.
fun time Bunny Island where nothing ever went wrong.
Don't you worry about it.
Now that you, because I told you about it when I had been there, but now that you have been there, isn't the fucking dichotomy between this is the poison gas war crime plant, bunnies, and like there's no overlap at all in the presentation of the island.
They actually incorporate that into the little movie you watch if you go to the Poison Gas Museum. So you can go check out the little, a small little museum where they have a couple of signs up, and it's a very like, yep, there was some really bad things here, and for the most part it focuses on like how it badly affected the people working there, and how the
probably
island
real
itself
bad.
got fucked up. All of the photos of the damage the poison does were photos from foreign lands and foreign
Far away.
people and foreign bodies.
People that don't matter.
Foreign babies.
Oh, wow. Didn't see that part. It was closed the day we went there.
Yeah. Nothing too close to home in terms of photos. But nonetheless, that was there.
And God forbid no bunnies.
And then they went over, and then there's a kind of they really had a lot of detail on how the production like of the poison went, and how this was the hidden island that was chosen, and so on and so forth. And then there was the smallest plaque on the entire wall was the one that said, the actual use of the poison in the war to this day is still unknown in its application, and it can be certain that many were harmed beyond the context of those that were making it on this island, and poison is a very bad thing that should never be used.
A big old plaque that says mistakes were made.
Essentially, right? It really did not go into how it was used. It was just about the production of it and those it hurt.
The saddest thing
case,
is it's like it's the most idyllic, beautiful, scenic location that has ever been. Like this perfect little island.
It's cute.
There's islands around,
It's
and
cute.
the water, and it's like, yeah.
They also only mention bunnies once when they say like the application of one drop of this to a rabbit's skin can change the color entirely in one day or whatever.
And they're like, how do you know that? And like accident, one of the bunnies found an old tube.
You don't know. I don't even. Yeah, you move on. You move on. So anyway, that was Bunny Island.
Mistakes
Otherwise
and
known
miracles.
as Okunoshima.
Yeah.
And yes, exactly. But check out the really cute Everything Everywhere.
Oh yay, the bun buns.
I got one to sit on my lap.
Oh, they don't give a shit.
Yeah, you do the leading, and then there it go.
It's one of those areas where the same thing with Nara, where the distinction between wild animal and tame animal is really vague.
The difference is the deer are assholes.
Well, deer are assholes.
As a whole, as a race,
They are bad.
we can condemn them.
People think that deer are cute and wonderful, and they are, but they are also bad and mean.
Be sure to say the word deer very frequently while we talk about how that entire race of assholes deserves what they have coming.
You say as you didn't actually
Deer.
include the word deer in that sentence, Woolie.
I
I remember being a kid and being like, how could you hunt the beautiful deer? And now I'm like, shoot the deer. Fuck them.
yeah.
They're dicks.
But bunnies are they're assholes too, but they don't have the means to disturb you as much.
They can't disturb you. I remember somebody who used to live on a farm who described that if you leave the wrong bunnies together in a pen, you walk into a blood-covered rabbit and a bunch of decapitated heads.
The first rabbit we saw upon walking out from the hotel was one with a giant chunk of its right eye missing. It was a huge badass. It was almost a badass scar.
Yeah.
But it was so wide that it was more like a Terminator scar.
Yeah.
You know?
That's cool.
It was a Kano thing without the metal plate. and someone fucking just took a chunk out, and it just kept going.
You know what's weird? When you look at like a character that has a big old scar, that's meant to show that they're hardened, right?
Yeah.
But in reality, it usually means it lost.
Yes.
Like it's not
you ate shit very hard.
It's not like, oh, look how tough it is. Like, no, that's the bitch one that lost. The cool one is immaculate because it won every time.
Yeah, that one should have died but didn't. You know. Anyway, so Bunny Island was followed up with the trip over to return to Hakone. That's up north where the last time it's the point that I said Frodo left Middle Earth. It's where we just took this amazing little like rail car ride through the mountains, doing a little Studio Ghibli thing, then got up onto a rope car, and then onsens and all that good stuff.
They should build a life-size Evangelion unit to tower over that city.
Well, there is a giant Ava head that it's not in that city; it's in another city.
Yeah, it's at the amusement park thing.
But when you do get to Hakone, they are very, yeah, they're very clear. They're very clear about it being Tokyo 3.
Yeah,
and as you take the winding side roads and you see all those little like turns and like diagonal walls where you're expecting the missiles to flip out of.
Yeah,
that is all raw Hakone. So yeah, that was cool. Although this time around, there was a typhoon warning and there was volcanic activity.
Sick.
So we had to shut down a lot of that cool ways to get there.
Well, I gotta ask,
and take a taxi
if you're
up
gonna
instead.
die in some kind of natural disaster.
We've already covered this question.
Would it not be? No, this is a slightly different question. Would it at least not be super cool to die by getting volcanoed?
No.
Is that not
because
cool?
lava, I found out, is not the lava from movies. You don't fall into it like molten liquid and then melt.
you skid on it and burn.
It's hard.
Yeah, it's hard.
So you will be standing on it as it roasts you.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that's not fun. I thought
but like I'm like, hey everybody, podcast delayed this week. Woolie fell into a volcano.
Yeah. Yeah, well, like Woolie dies in magma.
Yeah.
That's the actual.
Yeah.
Koji Kabuto dies in magma.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah, but man, that's a bad way to go because it's heavy and it's thick and it's like rock.
Woolie went down
It is
to Hakone and was like, I'm gonna reenact Magma Diver, the shittiest episode of Evangelion, and was like, oh no, I'm dead.
Well, anyway, the volcano activity meant that the ropeway was shut down, so we had to instead take a replacement bus. So we did a side view, not as pretty trip through the mountains, but it was still driving through clouds.
Yeah.
Because the mountain was literally high up to be in the clouds. We had a really great time, and got to that same place where Middle Earth came to an end. But this time we took the boat. Last time we were like, where does that boat go? Who knows? We'll never find out. This time we got on the fucking boat, and the boat led us to a gorilla.
All right.
Next to an ice cream stand.
Okay.
And we had some ice cream, and then we went back.
Like a gorilla, or
yeah,
like,
a gorilla.
like one of the?
There's a gorilla who's sitting there, and there's some ice cream, and then we just
like a real one.
I mean, no, it was stuffed. It was a cute stuffed gorilla.
The reason I asked is because like the other day I refound that photo of like "Do not fight the monkey. The monkey will defeat you." Image that is not at Hakone, but it is in Japan.
There was also a lot of vending machines with the most tonally dissonant Ava, like, merch and stuff you've ever seen.
Okay, worse than the Gendo Ikari shaving ad.
That's
the one.
I'm not familiar with that.
Oh, you've never seen it?
I don't think I've seen that.
It's like a fucking chick razor for Gendo, and he shaves his beard, and he goes, and he clapped, and goes, ah, and he does a big smile and a thumbs up. Wow. And it's like, what the fuck is this?
Wow. Okay. No, I'm just talking about like little vending machines with like Rey wearing a yukata, looking very, very happy and pretty.
Oh, she has a smile on?
Hanging out.
That's wrong.
Hanging out with Pen.
Oh yeah.
And they're just celebrating.
That's technically a possible future.
And you're just like, yeah, well, it's all possible within the bubble, right? And once you go inside the instrumentality, everything was possible. All those all mangas and universes where everyone was happy all happened inside.
So as you see, there's currently a no context Woolie Twitter account, which I've been enjoying very much. I have had one for a little while because I love it, but my favorite one applies to this conversation, which is, quote, I didn't expect a billion action figures of kid who jerks off on friend in a coma. Right? Which is all my go-to for Evangelion merchandise. Which, fucking what?
Yep.
I understand it's very popular.
Yep.
But, huh?
Ava was honestly the theme of almost this entire trip because it was everywhere. Like especially after USJ, then Hakone, and then back in Tokyo at the Ava store. It was a bit nuts how much there was everywhere, and truly you can live multiple days, if not months, using nothing but Ava merch.
Ava already happened, right? We're past the point where Ava would have taken place already.
Must be.
Wasn't that like 2015 or something?
I mean,
like
maybe not if you count the time skip, but yeah. So anyway, that was a really dope time. I got back into well, not back. I returned to Tokyo after that because before that was Osaka. First day, I had booked the Kirby Cafe,
and
went over to the Kirby Cafe. Was definitely not the usual audience
what
that
really?
this establishment has.
What do you mean?
I stood out quite a bit
amongst the 12-year-old girls that usually go there. I assume.
Actually, so you had the maybe like 7-year-old boys and girls with their parents, and then you had the much older, like 20 to maybe 40-year-old woman taking photos of the cute Kirby things.
Oh man.
So you have about 20 to 40-year-old women taking photos of the cute Kirby plates and things. You have all the children, and then there is I. And you best fucking believe I was getting my photo at the same sit and pose with DDD and everything corner, and I took it, and the photo lady was like, DDDD, pop, and then took the photo, and then I got my order. I ordered my fucking plate. I kept it. It was delicious. I sat alone.
That's the worst part.
No, that's not the worst part.
Oh, no?
Because there's one thing we know about the Kirby Cafe.
Yeah, what's that?
It's that photo that says, when you go alone, what happens? Do you remember what happens?
I don't.
When you go alone...
Wait, did you engineer this on purpose?
When you go alone... No, it's literally the only booking that could have been made.
Okay.
I definitely would have went with my friends, because we were as a group. But it was the only slot in the time frame that we were there. So when you go alone, you're supposed to be sitting at a seat, and if you are there by yourself, they put a Waddle Dee in the seat opposite you, so that you won't be eating alone. This is a photo that's been shared everywhere online for a while now.
The sympathy Waddle Dee.
I came in sad that there was no availability for anyone else but me, but at least I would have my Waddle Dee. I was not given a Waddle Dee.
What?
I was actually lonely.
Oh no.
Samishi.
Oh no.
It was bad.
This is really weird.
But I nonetheless enjoyed the food. It was tasty. And I bought bought a lot of Kirby merch. Not a couple. I bought a lot of Kirby merch.
Yeah.
Whole bunch of it.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It was right underneath Tokyo Tower, not Tokyo Tower, the Sky Tree, which is we're bigger than Tokyo Tower.
Does the Sky Tree fucking connect to Midgard?
I mean, I think it was made in retaliation for others that surpassed Tokyo Tower. I think that's kind of how that...
I kind of missed that. The Burj Dubai kind of ruined that world race.
We have ours is tallest. Ours is. The problem with that race is somebody's going to enter that race with incompetent engineers.
Yeah, totally.
And then the worst will happen.
Sick.
Okay, well,
as long as it's not in my town.
There you go. Of course, got to go check out the Gundam. You know what? So the Unicorn Gundam is replacing the RX-78. Blasphemy, some might say. How dare you? By some, I mean me. Because what the fuck are you doing? It's the RX-78.
The Unicorn's great, and it's a cool look. But I mean, the original's the original.
If
That's
you were
the point.
if you were gonna commit to always updating it to be the current thing, then I
mean,
would understand.
yeah.
But you're picking one and you're replacing the original with one, and you chose the unicorn, and it's like, all right, man, I really. But you know what? I went to go check it out at night so that you could see all the lights doing the
Yeah,
thing.
that's cool.
And it was awesome.
Yeah,
it
of
was
course it is.
fucking rad. The color change, the whole V-fin separation, and then it was also one of those things where it was the anniversary, so 40th anniversary. So they were doing the scenes of multiple Gundam things throughout history, and as each scene would change the lighting on the entire thing. It was really nice. It was really rad. Super worth it. The worst part about going to see Gundam up at Odaiba is that it's super far to get there. It's like a 45-minute trip sometimes from middle of Tokyo. It takes almost an hour if you really add a lot to it. But we were tired at the end of the day. You can't pick too many things to do when you're going to Tokyo.
Yeah.
You have to honestly pick one thing, maybe two, and that's about it, because you will find yourself filling it with other things you wander around into.
Yeah.
In this case, it was the third thing of the day, so we did it just by taxiing. It was a 20-minute taxi, you know? So that was a nice shaver. Beyond that, Akihabara, of course it happened. I've done it before, so it was, I was used to it. But Rach and Austin, who I went with, who were there for the first time, just over fucking whelmed, as you would. We did the Mandarake.
Yeah.
Skirped all the way through. There's Ami Ami and Kotobukiya. Hit up that Dojin floor. Saw them books. Accidentally, walked into a store that was divided into the BL section and then the rest. And
What's that? Sorry?
the BL section.
I'm sorry, what was that? Could you define that
We
for
walked.
the podcast?
That's Boy Love.
Oh, yes.
And walked in and basically had definitely a group of patrons that were like, "Are you in the right place?" And I'm like,
then you were like, yeah.
I'm like, "Am I? Give me a second. Let me find out."
I'm not sure.
For those of you at home who are not watching, I'm holding up a dojin of...
Wait, what?
Can you see who's on the cover of this book?
That's fucking Rorschach and comedian and fucking Adrian Velt or Ozymandias.
A Watchmen fan book.
What the fuck is this?
I am so happy. I found a cute little Watchmen fan book. And,
Did you find that in the BL section?
I mean, it's got some fun stuff. It's Rorschach hanging out eating a pizza. He's enjoying pets, because we know that Rorschach loves pets. And, look, he's feeding the kitty,
So, this is the part where we mention, again, for those of you who don't know, copyright law in Japan, loose. Real loose.
I mean, the dojin...
Nobody gives a fuck.
The dojin industry is very vibrant and thriving.
Nobody gives a shit.
Comiquette in its entirety is nothing but, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, anyway, it's a very fun, cute fan book. And it's, again, you got Rorschach hanging out with the animals.
Oh, yeah.
And then you got an examination of Dr. Manhattan and his glutes being really, really tight, and everyone being like, "Why are your glutes so tight? What's up with that?" So it's good stuff. Got my Watchmen Dojin.
That's weird.
Super into it.
That's
really
really
happy.
weird.
Good find. One of a kind.
I would say that, yes.
Also, I think I can say 19 years, I have been searching for something I saw a picture of on the internet and could never, ever, ever find until this time around.
What does he have now?
This box right here.
Oh!
I don't know
It's
if you
some
recognize
kind
it.
of stupid plane.
This is the Ikaruga Model Kit, and I can't believe it was back in stock after what must have been 20 years.
Yeah.
So I fucking bought it.
So are you going to put it together yourself?
I was thinking about
you better.
it because I can do a good.
Coward.
No, I can do a good job with the shaving and the sanding, but I can't do a good job with the painting, right? So if I put it together, it's just gonna look like the plastic default version with the stickers on it, and I want it to look way nicer than that. So I might give it to a friend who can do a much better job than I can. Because that's what I did with my Kingdom Death. That's what I did with my Kshatriya, currently being worked on. So, yeah, I might just have to do that. Because I don't want... This is a one of a fucking kind. I don't want to fuck that all... One of a kind, except for the part where I bought two, but...
One of a kind, except for the fact that it's a boxed retail product.
It was gone for so long, and now it's back. And
one of a kind!
And it was I can't do 20 years.
Yeah.
Like, that is a... Like, I am walking out of the store violently holding these things, my babies. Also, they had some cool Nier stuff. I honestly opted, I'm like, you know what, if I'm going to buy Nier merch, I either want a giant, amazing statue. Yeah. Or what I saw was perfect is a collection of all the weapons. And I was like, that's cute. I like that. I'm going to get that. So, Akiba was, of course, a very full day. Last thing that we ended the trip on is the most tourist trappy, kitsch ass, roll your eyes if you're a local and you hear these two words put together attraction ever. It's called the Robot Restaurant.
Oh yeah,
I don't know if you've heard of it.
I have.
You ever seen pictures of it?
No, but Paige has been there. She tells me that I ought to go sometime.
Okay, anyone who's from there goes, ugh. I went to this thing, not knowing what it was. I mistook it for something else because I heard that there was a restaurant somewhere. In fact, there's a guy in Tara's house that was involved with it. That it's a restaurant where these little robots come up to you, and they're your waiters, and they're being operated by people with disabilities elsewhere remotely. And it's like, that's a little cafe that does that. And I was like, oh yeah, that sounds cool. That's not what the Robot Restaurant is at all. The Robot Restaurant is a fucking. It is what your parents think Japan is turned into a show while you eat at a little fucking school desk sized tray table thing. The walls are adorned with celebrities who have visited. There is no Japanese anywhere in sight. The moment you enter, it is extremely English. And it is basically, it's like all the flashing lights, all the wacky imagery, all the Mount Fuji cutouts and samurais and ninja things like flying past each other, and like super over the top class, like typical music and whatnot. And then the show starts, and it's just people in costumes and robots and machines that they're riding, like skating, going by each other as they do fucking neon taiko, like with like Tron aesthetics. And it's fucking glorious, man.
Sounds awesome, dude.
It's rad. Lasers and swords and mechs and idols and just nonsense, right? It's like the Simpsons going to Japan episode. It's anything South Park ever did about Japan. It's complete and utter fucking nonsense. It's kitsch without knowing it's kitsch, right? And it's like...
You think they don't know?
They definitely don't know, right? To the point where they do... Like they do like a little Power Rangers thing, and like they do like narration about the world being in trouble because of the uprising and then the saviors and all that. And it's written in an English that is aware of English, so it's making it misspelled on purpose. So you're reading it going like, no, that's not genuine English. You put that in there for the pop. Right?
That's weird.
Very weird. But nonetheless, the visual spectacle of the whole thing is fucking incredible and super worth it. And I can't pretend that I didn't enjoy the shit out of it the entire time. You know? Like, it's a Vegas-ass hollow show in the middle of Kamurocho, essentially. Kabukicho. Right? But it is fucking worth it if you're not a local and you're not sick of this thing existing in your neighborhood already. Robot Restaurant, holy shit. Just honestly, like, Google the words Robot Restaurant and look at the pictures that pop up and you'll understand. Like, I saw the pictures and I saw the colors and I was like, oh yeah, no, that's me. I need to experience this in my life. And I did not regret it. And that's what we ended the trip on. So Fuck yeah, that was good. And yeah, I guess my new love is umeshu, which
What is that?
It is plum wine. It is sweet.
I
And
had plum wine there.
Did you?
Yes. I had it once. I didn't think to mention it. It's good.
It's fucking good.
It's real good.
Super duper strong.
Yeah, actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah, that goes down deceptively easy. Really, really, really into that on the rocks in particular. And shout outs to Ludwig, really, really cool, a person I had dinner with that happens to be someone working at Koji Pro, who was like, "Hey, would you like to come sit down and have some dinner?" And I'm like,
Sure.
yeah, that sounds cool. And he took me out to a cool place, and we had a good talk, had a good time, and that was fun. So I want to give a shout out to Mr. Composer Man over there working on Death Stranding. You're doing good stuff.
Really? It's the composer?
Yes. Super cool.
Did you ask him if the game will have good music?
I did.
Okay. What'd he say?
No.
Oh. Darn.
So,
Well,
we'll see how that go.
that's that.
I actually grilled him about the track I really, really love at the end of Phantom Pain, right? During that finale sequence, there's an amazing swelling track that plays that's not on the soundtrack. It's only in the game version. I'm like, what the fuck's up with that? And he's like, bruh, it's years ago, man. Like, I don't
know.
like, what? I'm like, oh, you know, but
Typical fanboy.
it was good. It was good. I'm very, very excited for how things are going to shape up in that game. Japan.
Japan's good.
Wadi. And of course, the other thing too to think about is I kept kind of bumming Steph the fuck out because every time something was happening, I was like, well, this will be the last time we ever experience this, so take it all in, drink it in now, because the second trip to Japan was a bit of a like stretch miracle in the sense that I felt like the first time around she was like, yeah, let's go. I've never been anywhere like that. That sounds great.
Yeah.
The second time around, it's like, we're going that far around the world to go back to the same place instead of somewhere else. And I was like, well, yeah, because I'm attached to this place in particular as opposed to anything around it. And
poor weeb.
And she's like, yeah, and she's like, yeah, but I'm a normie. I'm not a weeb, so I don't care about those things. It'd be cool to go to other countries and experience the other things there too.
And you're like, I don't want to go to other countries. I want to see my big robot.
That's basically it, you know. And but thankfully my plan has worked of like sneaking in, like injecting a little of the JoJo and like little persona. So now she's like, oh yeah, I had more fun. I totally got the references to stuff this time.
It's not gonna take.
It totally worked, and she enjoyed that stuff a bit more, to the point where it'd be like, could we do it a third time?
You could.
Maybe
you
if
could.
Other trips are mixed together with it.
Yeah.
You know. But the idea of getting back on a thing for a plane for that long, flying back around the world to go to the same destination, it's like, to anyone who doesn't have that attachment to that country in particular, why would you give a fuck to do that? Why not go somewhere else? It makes perfect sense, you know. So that's why I'm just kind of like, well, might not ever see this again. So
I want to go to the country that's in my video game,
because
that's the end of the sentiment.
Yeah, and this is and honestly, like, if you're both huge fucking weebs, then you don't have to question that.
Yeah,
that's just gonna be where you go. But that's not the case here, so we got to think about it a little bit more. So it's all right, you know. I'm fine with that.
You're not fine with that.